Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Vikas from joinDOTA, and with me is Troels Nielsen, or Troels, close enough. Okay, or as you would like him, or as you know him, Synderen. So yeah, Synderen, you're casting this event. How is it going so far?
The casting of the event.
Both.
Both. I knew you were going to say that. I think the casting has been going well. I've been having a good time. I think we've covered the event pretty well. There's been a little bit of experimentation going on with the desk doing the draft, for example, but I think it's actually worked out really well. As far as the games, I'm pretty happy with it. The games have been pretty good. There's been some one-sided ones and some really long games, and overall just the strategy and the excitement build up around the entire event is amazing, and casting for such a big audience is just great. The tournament itself, I think, has also been going well. There have been a few complications along the way, but that pretty much always happens for LAN events.
Well, I mean, like, I think a lot of fans are actually like glad that they see you with Toby reunited. I mean, like, you did really a lot of, a little bit more casting together in like in the past, but maybe we will see you at the international. I'm not gonna ask that. I know you're not allowed to reveal it. So yeah, the event so far, like EG is really dominating, and Fnatic is on the brink of elimination because EG, they have them down 1-0. Who do you would put your money on it? Do you think Fnatic is able to make a comeback?
I was calling EG before the match started, so now that EG is ahead 1-0, I believe in them that much more. I think for Fnatic, it's one of their worst matchups. Just over the last time, I think they've been losing pretty much every game to EG, and the last game was also really one-sided. I think EG just has a really good grip on them, so I think it's going to be 2-0 actually, based on those things.
Okay, and then we have the grand final, like EG versus IG. Who are you favoring and why, kind of?
I don't actually know if I have a favorite for that one. I think it's going to be pretty close. I think both teams have been playing really well. I would say it's a 2-1, but who it goes to is very hard for me to say. I guess there's a slight favorite would be IG maybe, but I wouldn't give them more than like 55% the way EG is playing right now.
I mean, like, both are really playing good, and yeah, grand final will definitely be interesting. Unfortunately, only a best of 3 after there were some schedule problems. But I mean, like, it's kind of short for like 3 hours for a best of 3 is. I don't think it's gonna be enough.
I just hope we get 3 games, honestly. Then I guess what most people are worried about is that it's going to be a very one-sided grand final with 2 games. I think the last big LAN event that had a best of 3 grand final was MLG earlier this year in January, but they ran a different kind of format. But I still think, even if it's just 2 games, as long as the games are good, I would be satisfied with that for a grand final. I just want to see the teams playing well, that's pretty much all.
I'm stepping aside a little bit from the ESL. A little bit of your transition, like about your future, about your past, because your old organization is here, Mousesports, and you were a former professional player, for all of those of you who don't know that, and you had quite good results. I mean, like, you fought through international qualifiers and all that kind of stuff. How was actually the transition over to casting? I mean, like, you did that stuff in your career as well, but...
The main thing about why I stopped playing was that the things I had been working on just lately, towards the end of that point, were just not working out, and I felt like, okay, I have some other opportunities inside the game that I want to explore, because I was already into casting, and then I was contacted by Suns fan afterwards, and he asked me about whether I would be interested in working with Dota Cinema or making a tournament. Basically, we were talking about that, and then we started cooperating and actually figured out it would be a good idea to do it that way. So I do miss playing. I would be lying if I said I didn't miss playing competitively, and maybe I'll start playing again at some point. But as far as the whole transition to casting as the main thing, it's pretty relaxed. Like you said, it's something I've been doing a lot in the past, so I don't know if I would call it a hard transition. I think the bigger change was to stop playing rather than to start casting more. So, yeah.
Well, as far as I know, Bucking Mad is looking for a new team. Well, he has it set up already, but maybe he can use you as a stand-in. But yeah, you're working for Dota Cinema right now, and you're casting stuff for them. What is actually, like, a little bit in plan? Do you plan on staying there? And if so, what can we expect?
We're planning on doing something after TI. I won't reveal exactly what it is and the magnitude of what we would be doing, but I'm having a good time. The most important thing for me about the work with Dota Cinema is that we just have fun doing what we do. Like the A to Z Dual Lane Challenge, our Captain's Draft Invitational and everything. We're just genuinely having fun. We're doing something we think is entertaining, and I think that's what gets a lot of the audience involved and makes them like our tournament a lot is that they can tell we're having a good time, and I think it just spreads. So that's actually the main point. And that's also one thing that Sunsfan has been trying to, in some community comments, etc., he's been saying the main purpose of Dota Cinema is it's an entertainment channel. It's not a competitive channel. Hosting a tournament was something new for them, an experiment. It went really well, and it was entertaining, which was the goal. So as long as we can keep it that way, I think that's the way we're going to go with it.
Okay, going a little bit further in the future, or not that much, basically just a week, like International is approaching. You're going to be there as a caster. Are you excited about it already? Well, you are.
No, I think TI4 is going to be incredibly boring. I wish I didn't have to go. I don't know, of course I'm excited, but what are you more interested in about the event?
I know you can't really reveal too much what you're doing there, but I mean, like, you're going to do casting. Bigger stage or smaller? Can you leak at least something?
I think I'm not allowed to leak anything about it. It's in a week, so you don't have to wait that long. And I don't know when it's being made official as well. And maybe Valve hasn't completely decided exactly how things are going to run yet, but we have a pretty good idea about it.
Okay, but I mean, like, we can still talk a little bit about the International. Like, it's really, really hard to determine any outcome. So I only have, like, two things. Like, who do you favor from the qualifier, which is Nova, like the last spot? And who do you actually think maybe top 3 somehow?
So the play-in is Mineski.
They are MVP Phoenix, Virtus Pro, CIS, and Liquid.
And Liquid. If I had to pick one right now, I think I might say CIS, but they're having visa issues, right? They still didn't get in. And if they don't make it, then I guess Liquid. And they might have actually been the favorite anyway. I think they're training really hard for it, and still their experience, I think, will allow them to trump a team like MVP Phoenix, who, for me, was very surprising. They actually made it. So, yeah, I guess, actually, let me change that. Even if CIS is in, I think I'm going to say Liquid for it. But I think it would be close in that case. If CIS aren't there, I think Liquid might run with it fairly easily, actually.
Quite surprising answer. And who do you think, like, not take the entire thing? You can't predict that. Or if you do, you're a really good guesser. But just like, who do you think are the strongest teams going into the competition?
IG, EG, Alliance. I chose them as my top 3 for this event, and it looks like that's pretty much what's happening. You can call it shared 3rd, 4th place between Alliance and whoever loses now. I'm still believing in EG, in which case it will be right. Those 3 teams have really stood out to me. I think a team like LGD might actually upset and get further than people think. I guess they are favorite for top 8 right now, but they think they could get even further, maybe top 4. But the biggest prediction I guess I'll make is that I think there's going to be in the top 8 will have, Newbie will make that, DK will make that, IG will make that. So it's going to be like 3 or 4 Chinese teams in top 8. And the remaining teams will be the West. I don't think SEA will make it with Arrow Gaming and Titan. I don't think they will be doing well enough for that. I think the competition has really been stepped up this year too. And as far as the Western team goes, Na'Vi for me a dark horse right now. They haven't been doing so well. Well, you never know with Na'Vi, especially when it's TI. They could be making a miraculous improvement before that. Alliance, like I said, is going to do well. And EG, I guess, right now is the strongest hope for the West at this point. But you never, like, these tournaments have their own metagame, and it's a very long tournament, so a lot of things can happen during the way. Yeah. I'm jumping back really quickly to the previous question, because I just had a thought. It's going to be, let's see, it was Liquid VP, MVP Phoenix, and CIS. If CIS don't make it, Liquid or VP, I still think will be better than Phoenix, but I'll say Liquid as the favorite, but I said a little bold before. I think they might actually not be major favorites in that case. Maybe for me, 55 to 45 or 60 to 40 against Virtus Pro. Coming into a kind of, you need to think about the format where it's like these very few, very deciding matches. I think Virtus Pro are going to pull up some really good stuff, like they did in the grand finals against Mouse in the qualifiers, where they were actually had 2-0 and then lost 3 in a row. So I think we can expect some more stuff like that from VP for.
Like Virtus Pro, they have been underperforming for quite a long time, and then suddenly, big performance again. So,
let's win.
So yeah, actually, I would like to wrap this up. So you have 30 seconds to 1 minute. Just give shoutouts, whatever you like, go crazy. Shameless self-advertisement, your Twitter, your Twitch. Are you streaming? Yeah, you're streaming, but not so much lately.
I haven't been streaming for 2.5 months, I think. It's been a while. I might start streaming again at some point, but it's not really in the very near future plans. It's not happening before TI at least. But yeah, I guess the only things I want to plug are Twitter, Facebook, and my homepage are all Synderen Dota. The homepage is synderendota.com. And my, what was the last one? My Twitch.
Shoutouts.
My Twitch is just Synderen, which maybe I will start using again. So, apart from that, go crazy. I don't know. Make some weird faces. Okay, let me think. All right, shout out to Sunsven. Toasty!
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this was Synderen, and more interviews coming up soon.